welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. Steam tells me that this is some obscene hour of the game. I think we're on part 33 of the Adam versus Pillars of Eternity series. I believe I have some elves to discuss things with. My good friends, the elves. So, let's strap on our plate mail. Sharpen our +1 swords. Can you sharpen a +1 sword? Isn't it like eternally sharp? I guess it depends. But regardless, gird your loins. The time for role-playing has come. Alright, let's see what we got going on for our quest situation here. So, I've got a handful of ongoing quests. And I've got my sort of main my main jam here that I've been following. So for my quests I have available, there is that woman who wanted me to go to the Northweald and find her friend who's about to get ambushed. There's some NPC stuff like the grieving mother, which I may or may not complete. A quest with Palagina, which she's not on my team right now, but I'll probably grab her and come back. We've got the Long Hunt, where I'm continuing to search for Persok, who is the village elder of one of my party members. So it looks like I've got a lot of party member quests here. I've got Audnois, which I've got to continue if I want to. And I've got Durance and Adar. So really just a lot of NPC quests and then this one or rather party member quest and this one NPC related quest. So I'm going to I'm just going to continue with both of these. I'm going to continue with Ter Evron and Elm's Reach and then the Northweald, because if I look at my map I have to go basically through Elm's Reach and Old Song and then up to the Northweald. So I'm going to go hit up Elm's Reach. I'm going to go see what our main quest is about. So on my team, I currently have Adar, who's my tank. I've got my main character Dianea, who's my Cypher. Oh, I'm interrupted by the game. Excuse me. The guard places a spear between you and the path that leads beyond the gates. Still, Estramor, the rest of the city is forbidden except by order of one of the Anamfatha. God, I hate having to read this stuff aloud in this section because there's all of these like fantasy words like Anamfatha, which honestly, if I were reading this in my head, I would have skipped it and not tried to pronounce it correctly. But I'm doing it. I'm doing it for you. And one of these days, I'll pronounce Deerwood correctly on the first try. Trespassing in Twin Elms is punishable by death. I come to see the cornerstone with the blessing of the guided compass. The guard scowls and looks at his companion, who nods back. I feel like the most like tormented job in all of the fantasy universes there ever were. Like the worst job to have. It's not like rat catcher or like night soil farmer. It's fucking city guard. It's city guard is the worst job. Like guarding anything. Your chances of getting murdered by a monster or getting murdered by a player character are so high, and they're only slightly less high than your chances to be verbally abused by anyone around you. Like these poor guys. They're the service industry workers of fantasy role-playing games. Always too cozy with the Estramoran. Go then and mind your step around the sacred stones. They're slippery this time of night. You might fall, break your neck. To Elm's Reach. Poor city guards. Though, because player characters tend to be so abusive, you end up with the city guard voice bits being some of the most memorable in any game. Stop right there, criminal scum. So these folks, they basically dress like cave people for some reason. What are these guys talking about? Nothing. Stop right there, criminal scum. I read that as the Oolong district. It's like, oh, cool. We get some tea. Terrabron, that's where I'm headed. Though maybe let's take a detour to the Hall of Warriors, because I'm a cool warrior.
Hey. Hmm?
What did the guards in Baldur's Gate 2 say? The like Omnian guards? Someone needs to make a supercut of guards telling you off. I'm sure it exists on YouTube somewhere. Oh boy, that's a lot of characters. Okay, is there anyone here? The name? Simok. What's up, Simok?
Estremor?
A grizzled old elf. His hair, braided and dyed, stands at one end of the hall. You don't hear those words very often. Grizzled old elf. Grizzled old elf. Huh. His arms and chest are cross-hatched with the pale seams of scars. His arms are a tapestry of scars. His crooked smile looks like another. What? His crooked smile looks... Anyway. It's not many Estremoran who are permitted into our sacred city. Bethel must be feeling especially soft today. What's the atomic weight of Bethel? Adar pays no attention to the elf and instead has locked eyes with the Stelgar in the front of him. He whispers to you, "Do you think he'd mind if I pet his Stelgar?" I don't know, man. You need to negotiate your own consent situation with this guy. I'm not going to do that for you. I'm going to pet his Stelgar. Also, we're learning a thing about Adar here. This is the second time Adar has been obsessed with petting a dangerous animal. As soon as we met Sagani, he was like, "Ooh, let me pet Itumak. Let me touch him." There we go. Remember how well that worked out last time. Come to hear your future at Terevron? His smile widens, exposing a row of yellowed, crooked teeth. Ew, yellow, crooked elf teeth. Or to make your own at Blood Sands. Well, what the hell's that? What's Blood Sands? That sounds gross. What should I tell this guy? Let's ask him. What's Blood Sands? An ancient place of sacrifice. I'm imagining this guy as like the Montgomery Burns of elves. In a cave by the great helms themselves, Reston and his druids have been an integral part of Glenfathan society for generations. No matter what some of the other tribes may say, Eir Glanfath has held its own against the Estremoran because some of us still understand the power of sacrifice. Alright. But I'm benevolent, so he gives me an appraising eye. Does the thought make you uncomfortable? It should. Okay, creepy. Something else? Tell me about the three-tusked Stelgar. The boldest and fiercest of the 6 great tribes of Eir Glanfath. It was we who first defended against the Estremoran who came to shore 200 years ago. Excellent. We've been the border tribe. It has always fallen to us to hold the line against outsiders and invaders. Okay, well that explains why they're not fond of the Estremoran. Oh, he shed blood alongside Galvin Regd himself. Get regged. Now the Estremorans seem to think they'll find a cure for their empty children among our sacred sites. Or worse, they'll find sanctuary in our lands. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's not Mr. Burns. Maybe he's the old Padlin guy. Being an Estremoran, that's a Padlin. Coming to our sacred site? Whoa, that's a Padlin. And I've seen what happens when they set their sights on Glenfathan soil. From what I've seen, those sacred sites might actually have a cure. They protect those sites because someone told them to. You wish just once they'd have the courage to question it. Isn't there room for you both? 200 years, Defiance Bay and New Haomar have outgrown their crooked cobblestones. They rupture and reek like bloated corpses. No, inviting them into our land would be the end of us. Okay. So, this is the part of the game where we get to explore human-elf xenophobia, where they hate each other, they've been in a couple of wars. I think that the tribes, the Glenfathan tribes, aren't made up of one race. Like, I've noticed there are a lot of elves, and there are other, like they had an ogre hanging out here. There's those little dudes whose names I can never remember. I saw a godlike outside. It's like they're dividing the line between like humans and other, like non-humans, I guess. In my 250 years, I've led my people through 2 wars. Our borders have remained intact, and largely through the reputation of the three-tusked Stelgar. His voice drops to a growl. I've sired a dozen children, but none have been deemed fit to take my place. I care nothing for the legacies that obsess the Estremoran lords, but it is important my successor continue this path. Okay, well, is your role hereditary? Not entirely. We believe that the souls of our ancestors come back to us. So this stuff is classic Obsidian. This is like, you want to have a short conversation with someone, and instead of them telling you one thing, you spend 20 minutes having them tell you literally everything about their people. I wonder how many of the writers at Obsidian have like side projects going on, or are hopeful novelists. The Riao looked first among the children for a successor, but their souls were weak. Ordinarily, they turned to others in my tribe, to clan heads and their families. Ordinarily. Okay, man. Poor guy's cranky. I mean, I would be too, if I were a ancient elf, but you know. We share a tradition of fostering the children of other tribes, and the Anamfath of Fisher Crane is trusted his youngest to my care. None of my own blood are fit to take my place. The Riao will look next to this bog child, the kin of another Anamfath, and my foster daughter to take my place. Bog child? I have nothing but respect for Fisher Crane, but their ways are not ours. So we call them bog children? Oh, because they're Orlans. See, nobody likes an Orlan. Nobody. Like, even the elf. Nothing. They just don't care. Poor Orlans. They've lived in Thayan Bog for 1,000 years. They're cunning and furtive by nature, which serves them well when they have swamplands to hide their movements. But this will not deter the Estremoran on open ground. That's an unkind summary from what I've read. You have to look between the lines at all the frustrated Adiran commanders writing about the unseen enemy harrying their forces. A little sabotage and a few good ambushes can turn the tide of any conflict. Oh my god, I'm so tired of you, Seamock. Our savagery has deterred the Estremoran from future encroachment. They still tell of our deeds in the Broken Stone War. The child of the Fisher Crane leads our tribe will lose that boldness, and the Estremoran will lose their fear of us. I don't care. The child will be influenced by the souls of her ancestors. In times of crisis, she will look to their kin in Thane Bog for guidance. No matter what I try to teach her, it will not be enough. There's a way you could help, if you have the stomach for it, but I think it would suit some of your inclinations. So, do I get to... You want me to kill her, or get to the point? The Owen girl has the soul of a leader. If it were passed to one of my own offspring... So you want me to... Yeah, you do. You do want me to have her killed. This sounds problematic. Yeah, dude. Well, it's a quest, and I'm a PC, so I just do quests when they're given to me. There's a house in southeast Hearthsong next to the river. The child will be asleep, and I've arranged for her to be unattended for a time. Take her and bring her to keep her word hut in Blood Sands. She knows what must be done. She presents you with the liquid essence. Bring it back to me. This sounds... They're gonna liquefy this kid. What will keep her word to do with the child? Do you know what a blender is? Have you seen the rituals of Blood Sands? You'll sacrifice her. The only way to distill her essence. Easier to kill this fella and distill his essence. The Orlan child? Go on. I don't see why you need me to do this. How can you possibly expect to get away with this? If you know the girl is here and one Orlan babe will look much the same as the next. But let me worry about this. I should kill you for this. Surrounded by my best warriors? That would be unwise. I won't do this. Yeah, no, I'm not going to help you blender your baby. I do not relish the deed, but 2 centuries of leadership have taught me all the things bear a cost. Consider it well, Estramor. I'm not above rewarding those who are of service. Goodbye. You're an asshole. I like that it still gives me the quest anyway. The game doesn't care. Who's this guy with his sword? Lyris. Yeah, here we go. So the quest is there's gonna be the alternate part of the quest. A young man approaches you with a swift and purposeful stride. While you've never met him before, he has the same stern, wild look as Seamok. He doesn't speak until he's right next to you. When he does, his voice is quiet. Wait, I saw you speaking with my father. I'm going to say nothing. He's asked you to sacrifice Vela, hasn't he? Maybe he's right about Three-Tusk Stelgar growing weak, but if this is the price of strength, it isn't worth it. The tribes have survived this long because we've stuck together. Do you have another idea? I hope you do, because I don't want to blender that kid. There's an herbalist among the Ovates of the Golden Grove. Bleda, that's her name. They all gather southeast of here by the river. She could brew a poison. Seamok wouldn't know the difference till it's too late. Ah, there's the family resemblance. There's an easier way to kill Seamok, you know. His warriors would surround you in no time. Shut up, dude! I'm a PC. I will wreck his shit. And then I'll kill everyone in the room. Then I'll kill you. Then I'll kill everyone else in the village. And then, I don't know, I'll go to the next screen and kill them too. I could kill everyone in this entire game given enough time. No, you don't want me to commit... fine, no genocide. Okay. You want me to murder your father? No. But it's better than allowing him to murder this child. Fine. Fine. I'll poison your father. You know, subjective morality is so much fun. You know, I can just do whatever I want, and the game will give me options for that. Now, let's go find some cops to sand thrower. I remember, and I might have talked about this a little bit when I was playing Fallout 2, I remember as a kid playing that game and having that exact realization that, like, given enough time... I keep getting interrupted by the game.
You have stayed true to our cause, Inquisitor, when so many others have not. For every heretic we confess, for every betrayer that burns on our pyres, new sheep continue to flock to Iavara Ix Incios. But not you. I underestimated you in the beginning, but no longer.
So, whoever was the chief linguist for this game, this is their crowning moment. This is their greatest hand job. New sheep continue to flock to Iovara Ixencios. Like, let's just grab some syllables, just throw them together. Iovara Ixencios.
It is not for honor that I summoned you today, but for duty. Too many of our own have confessed upon the wheel and the rack and the flame. Too many of our faithful have had their minds poisoned by the Kratom witch. The tide is against us now.
Uh-huh.
We have but one option. Iavara's following must see her exposed for what she is. She must confess her heresy before my court.
But how would we reach her, Theos?
Not in Kratom, surely. Their lord has embraced her heathen faith and protects her with his army. But in Oceanus, things would be different. The king of Oceanus is a sinful man. We have helped him to see the error of his ways, and now he fears for his soul. He would pay any price for absolution.
But how would we get Iovara Ixesios, or whatever her name was, to move to Oceanus?
You have already done much for the Inquisition. I wouldn't ask this were there any other choice.
Okay. Thanks for interrupting me. as I was saying, I remember as a kid playing Fallout 2 and having that realization that with enough time and enough skill ups and gear, I could pretty literally kill everyone in the entire game. And that's a dangerous realization to have, especially for a 15-year-old. That sense of power. That like, wait, I don't have to pay people at the store for these things that I want. I could just murder them and take them. Oh, to be a PC. Oh, she has some dryads. Two identical women seem to fade into view as they move away from the great trees that camouflage them. Their skin is tree bark, ridged and scaly, wreathed in a curling tangle of roots, buds, and blooms. Hey, just like me. Their hair hangs beneath the shade of serrated leaves like the drooping branches of the elms above. Darling, your hair hangs beneath the shade of serrated leaves like the drooping branches of the elms above. The pupils of your eyes are encircled by hundreds or even thousands of concentric rings, as if to mark the accumulated wisdom of your millennia.
Turn around, flesh creature. Outsiders are not permitted to approach the elms.
I'm like 96% plant.
Do you not feel it, sister? Something familiar. An ancient soul, like the other one. Another defiler, no doubt. Let us fell him and be troubled no more. It would pay the debt of his predecessor.
Who are you?
So it would
Can you not? Ugh! Getting misgendered by druids.
I see a different motive here. Different questions in these eyes.
What of it, young trespasser? Is it as my sister says? Or are you here to stain this place with foul deeds?
Oh my god. I have forgotten my purpose in the presence of such legendary beauty. Have I begun hallucinating in double? I love that my options are like, be honest and tell them what I'm doing, lie to them, be diplomatic, tell them to fuck off and die, or be like, oh girls, you so hot, come here, I'm seeing double, you're both so sexy. I'm gonna, it's fine. I'm going to. I really want to do that one, but that's not. I'm not. I'm gonna play my character. I'm gonna tell them honestly.
There, by his own admission, Sheetha.
I'm a woman, you asshole.
Really, sister? And you wonder why your leaves begin to fall out before midsummer. Clearly that man did not want to be followed. Whatever the relationship here, I suspect it is anything but cordial. The answer is yes, old one. We crossed paths with Theos not long ago, and we can tell you where he went. But I find it curious that anyone would seek him out. Suspicious, even. If we are to help you find him, we would know why.
I don't fully know myself.
Ridiculous. Why would you pursue a man like that without knowing why?
Are you so agitated by recent events, sister? How many have come to the Elms over the years with no better an explanation? These two share a link that extends beyond lifetimes. It was bound to bring them here, sooner or later. But that's what this is really about, isn't it? You are tied to him. I see it now. You are awakened. Your soul is awake and something once buried deep now wells to the surface. Past overwhelms present, closes in around you. Your time has nearly reached its end.
Okay.
I'm sorry
Obscure
to tell you this,
NPCs.
but Theos cannot give you what you seek. Nor can any man. An awakening cannot be undone, any more than your past can be undone.
Okay. What's she mean? I thought Merwald said this is permanent? What? But that can't be right. Not after everything. There must be someone else we can ask. I'm sorry. We did not come down this road together to be refused passage by a pair of talking saplings. Yeah, burn this mother down!
The soul is formless without a past to shape it. Did you truly expect to be able to wipe it away?
That or kill the man who brought it up.
He is beyond forgiveness, for his deeds are beyond repair. Is that so? It would seem that way to
I
me
want a
as well.
second opinion.
But if that is true, then the two of you may be connected more closely than
Oh God, just
However, as much
Stop
as my
it.
sister speaks truly that there is no way back from an awakening, there may yet be a way forward. Would you agree, Shiva?
I would. Were the way not so likely to end in death.
You underestimate me, you tree folks.
In each span of your life, his only grows in cunning and resolve.
The man Theos you must already know by now. You are linked by a common past. Something about it lingers within
It's gonna
you
turn out
as
that Theos
to
is my son,
unresolved.
or my dad,
What it is
or
I cannot see any more than
both.
you. And without that knowledge, your doom is certain. But were you to learn the source of this discord, perhaps it could be put to rest. Though it is equally possible it will trouble you as much now,
Yeah, how do I roll to read a situation?
and merely speed your condition to its end.
My past comes to me in pieces. How do I unlock the rest? Well, your pass is available as DLC. It's
You
$9.99.
might wait for it to come on its own, of course. But when it comes, it will replace your sanity's last breath. Such is the nature of your condition.
It's like a bad Twilight Zone episode. You get to the end, you walk into a room, and all it is a mirror, and it turns out Theos is you. You were the monster all along. Also, you're Hitler, and then your glasses break, and you can't read any of the books you always wanted to have time to read.
Or you could learn it from someone who already knows.
Theos? Would he remember?
It is said the gods made his memory perfect, that he may
It's
never
said by
forget
who?
his charge. If he ever knew, he still does.
Not
Okay.
that he would tell you, of course.
Yeah, unless I threaten to murder
You have
him.
followed the right person for the wrong reason, it seems. We see it often beneath the elms. The soul dragging mind and body to unknown places for unfathomable reasons. You may have wandered into Theos's path many times, in many lifetimes, without an awakening to show you why.
Oh my god, I've wandered into his path many times. Time is a flat circle.
The only thing that's certain is you did not find what you sought.
You said you know where he
He has
went.
gone down beneath the tower to a place older than we, where the people of Engwith once lived.
So,
He makes his way to the buried city, Sun and Shadow.
oh, rad. He's gone beneath the tower to an awesome dungeon where you're gonna fight monsters and shit. Yeah. Oh. So, the game is reminding me again of Exalted. I've talked about this before in the way that the souls get transferred from person to person but remain the same. So, this is kind of cool. I like the idea that So in Exalted, there are two types of character. There's solars and lunars, and they're bound together. Like each soul, like a solar exalt and a lunar exalt, are kind of bound together as like partners, or often they're like married. But it can take on a bunch of different forms. And in the modern kind of era of the game, those two groups don't trust each other or get along at all, but your character can be bound to another exalt in a way that you don't have any control over. There's the idea of like soulmates, and so you might have like your worst enemy, but your souls were like made to be together, which can make for some really awesome drama. So I'm seeing some of that here with my character and Theos, where it's like we've been pursuing each other through time, and there's this like connection that transcends this sort of reality, which I think is super cool. And I would love to see them make a mechanic out of that if they make this into a tabletop role-playing game, right? To be able to like look at the legacy of your soul, and that for me is a really interesting thing. Like if character creation wasn't just and I'm setting myself up for disappointment here, I think, but like if the game were to say, okay, make your character as they are now, but also during character creation, what were you in your past life? What were you in the life before that? Who are you connected to in those lives? What about the people in the party? You know, do your past incarnations have anything in common with theirs? It's really cool. I would love to see that happen, but fingers crossed. I'm not going to hold my breath.
May he stay down there and rot with the remains of his people.
He may yet. He won't be returning the way he came, that much is certain. he opened a secret path in the tower's base and saw it destroyed behind him through some vile means.
Yaman. A shortcut, in fact.
Okay, we only got half that sentence. Burial aisle through the court of the penitents.
Don't be cruel, sister. The way my sister speaks of is not for the faint of heart. A great pit at the center of a forgotten court, where faiths were judged in place of crimes. To most, it is simply a gateway to death. With the help of the gods...
I'm all about jumping into weird pits. I found a pit full of blood and weird goo, and I just jumped right into it. No problem.
The pit is said to have been a means of judgment by the gods. Those cast into it are meant to die. It is that way you must pass to reach Sun and Shadow. The court is old. We do not know much for certain, but it would seem only the gods themselves can grant passage.
Valask, that reference makes me think that... So Valask says the game's not going to be... It's not going to have... they're going to make a tabletop role-playing game. It's not going to have that stuff I talked about. It's going to be bad because it's going to have a safe driving speed for tanks. Which makes me think that Valask has attended one of my panels before. Alright. The court is old. We don't know much for certain. It would seem the gods themselves.
No
Blah,
more
blah,
than a
blah.
ruin now.
Yeah, a ruin.
It is older than we.
I know about
A
ruins.
place for the trial of heretics. We were not here to witness it. But at one time there was a group that refused to acknowledge the gods.
Atheists.
Neither the first nor the last, of course. But these were numerous and all put on trial for it. Those who did not repent were cast into the pit and imprisoned below.
Say you like the gods, we're gonna throw you in a hole.
The fall killed them, of course. The prison was not for people, but for their souls. And their sentences
These are some good
were eternal.
exposition dryads.
It is said that many of the condemned repented and were permitted by the gods to ascend from the pit, so long as they pledged their service. No more than a ruin now.
Yeah,
The
okay,
behind
okay.
us is Ter Evron, said to pierce the shroud itself, and a place of communion with all gods. If ever there was a time for prayer.
So the only
you
way
have
through this
found it.
pit is to pray for help? Not the only way, just the only one that doesn't end with your body impaled on jagged rocks. Okay, who would I pray to? Any god you can.
I would pray first to those gods you like best. I hope for
How
your
do I
sake,
pray?
Ter Evron is also called the Hall of Stars, and the stars show us the allegiances of the gods. When stars are in conjunction, we know the gods they represent are aligned as well.
Okay.
You should choose a place to pray where you'll be closest to those you want to hear you. If a god stands alone, you should pray to that god. If they band together, you should address them all. Choose your words wisely, for all gods... Before you
Okay.
go, tell me this, old one. I'm curious. If you were to subdue your enemy, what would you do with him? What would give you peace?
I won't know until I get there.
A great many questions still to be answered. All the same, think on this matter. Be assured in your course. In the end, it may mean all the difference, not just to his soul, but to yours. And be warned. Some questions have answers that can never be learned. And it is those that trouble the soul above all others. May you find an answer to yours.
Well, at least I got experience for listening to those two babble. Anyway, I was just trying to cross the bridge, go on a quest. Jeez. Trying to murder an old man. Druids keep getting in my way. Well, now I have all the quests in the world, so that's nice. Let's finish Poison the Old Man quest though. That's what's important, really. Old Man Poison quest. As you were, murder hobos, as you were.
About our awakenings being permanent?
So, by design in Tosha was asking me, do I find it difficult to enjoy video game RPGs with my own experiences making me judge the product I'm playing all the time? No, I just tend to see things in more critical light. But I mean, I don't play games that I don't enjoy. So here I am, 30 odd hours in, and if I wasn't having fun, I would have quit by now. But also, I find criticism a way to get into a game, to kind of like be more involved in it. I'm as interested in why the game is making the choices that it makes as I am in just playing the game. Okay, so one of the ovates of the Golden Grove. Now I gotta find. I don't know where she is. Let's go over here and find this Blepha or whatever her name is. Some ovates. There it is, Bleda.
Builder's wisdom to you.
The elf holds a chipped wooden pipe. The sweet smoke wafting from the bowl makes you dizzy. Oh, what's up? What up, Bleda? Welcome, Estremor. I've got herbs and potions for sale. Yeah, give me some of them herbs. And potions. I need some poison, and I need your dankest spores, and maybe like a cool glass pipe in the shape of a Tasmanian devil. When she grins, you see her teeth and gums are stained brown. Well, I take out my plasma pistol, and I shoot her in the chest. I hear you can make certain poisons. Poisons? I only deal in tonics that heal and enlighten. Of course, many beneficial substances can be harmful when taken in great quantities, but that's just Werther's way of keeping all things in balance, man. Oh, there's plenty. Concentrated Carogolin, undistilled spider venom, rotten blood moss extract, cave coral mixed with skein bone. Give me some undistilled spider venom, please. What would you want with something like that? Well, my friend Stilgar is dying and he wants to ease the creature's passing. Poor thing. Here, take this. It works slowly, but it'll send him back to the cycle kindly enough. Half that dose would kill an Almawa. Anything else I can do for you? Yeah, girl, what do you got? Let me see your war paint. So she's got a bunch of potions, some mats for creating stuff. But I bet you I know what this fine businesswoman would like. I bet you she would like to purchase a whole bunch of crap. Actually, I'm pretty low on crappy miscellanea right now. I gotta go kill several hundred Zorips. Alright, so I got some poison. I gotta go trick Seamok into drinking it. Alright, everyone, time to go and make sure an old man gets his just desserts. So I talked to that stoner, and she said... Something else? Here's the potion you asked for. Something's wrong. What are you trying to give me? You're being paranoid because you're nervous about the deed. It's natural. He reaches out with a hand gnarled by age and battle. He clutches the vial close to one faded blue eye. To my tribe's salvation. Bloop. He drains the vial in one long gulp. He swallows, and after sputtering for several seconds, he glares at you. His breaths sound ragged and wet. You poisoned me. He begins to raise his hand to the other warriors in the room. Unfortunately, I don't have enough resolve or perception to stop, so I can say, that was poison. He rushes at you with a cry of rage. Holy God! Now I have to kill everyone in the room. Okay, well, here we go. Wake up, time to die. kinds of stuff are happening. So many steps. So I'll get away from that wall. Here we go. You know, for being the toughest warriors in town, these guys just really kind of embarrassed themselves. Cool. Well, that was fun. I've murdered everyone in the room. I could have just started with that, but whatever, fine. Can the fight be over? Do I still have someone charmed? Nope. Are we done? Adar, Itumak. The music seems to indicate the fight's over. But I can't loot anybody. Hey, buddy. Killed your dad. Super killed your dad.
You cannot venture forth while in combat.
Yeah. So that thing about combat, right? Like, it's over. We're done. Oh, no, we're not. That guy just ran away. Okay. Anybody else? Lyris looks you in the eye and gives you a slow nod. Like, he was just standing back there the whole time. Like, oh, you really fucked that up, but hey. Good work. Way to murder my dad, dude. That was cool.
If those Delamgon are right, you and I are stuck with our awakenings. Not quite the news I was hoping for.
Worrying won't change anything.
Yes, if only that knowledge could prevent it. And while I hate to turn the subject back to myself, this all has me thinking about Isilmir. I'm stuck with her now.
It's time you dealt with this, Aloth.
I know.
Yeah, dude. You got your in-your-head girlfriend forever. You're stuck with her. Like it or not, she's part of you, and she could be a source of strength if you learn to work with her.
It's strange. I've lived with her most of my life, and I've always seen her as an adversary. It should have occurred to me the day she stood up to my father. But there's something about being too close to a situation to see it clearly.
It's okay, buddy.
It will be a relief to stop fighting her.
Even as he says it, something struggles within him. The muscles of his face twitch and his skin quivers. His eyes roll back in his skull, exposing slivers of white. Sweat beads and glistens on his forehead. After several seconds, he sighs and looks back at you. That wasn't as difficult as I expected. I think, deep down, I'd always hoped to find a solution elsewhere. When I was a child, I always thought my mother would come home with a mysterious cure, or that my father, without knowing it, would somehow send her away just as he called her forth. I can't pretend I didn't spend some of my years of arcane training, hoping that some of my instructors would have the answers somewhere in their grimoire. When I joined the Leaden Key, I hoped and believed that with enough loyal service I'd gain the ear of someone in the organization who could help me. Even when I met you and realized your unique talents, I hoped you might be able to reach into my soul the way I've seen you do with so many others. I've been looking for someone else to solve my problem, and now I realize I've got to face it on my own. Most people need that kind of guidance. You don't. I've been with you the whole... Aw, that's nice. I'm gonna say this one. I've been with you the whole way. I still am.
That means a great deal to me. Truly.
Aw, hugs.
That reminds me of something else the Delamgon said. About the gods not being real.
Don't tell me you're getting your panties in a knot about something new. Aw, that's not very nice. I expect we'll figure out what that means eventually.
Yes, I suppose so. Still, I can't help but worry at the state we'd be in if that was somehow true. If there were no power guiding us in this life and shepherding us to the next.
Aloth wants us to imagine all the people living in harmony. Be stoked. The gods sound like dicks. I'm sure we'd find our way on our own.
I hope you're right.
Oh, we've stopped. Let's discuss something else. That's all. I don't actually want to talk to you. I'm sorry. I will level us up, though. Ooh, level 5. Level 5 power. Borrowed Instinct. Or Tactical Meld. Tactical Meld? It's like a tuna meld. Connects the mind of the Cypher with an ally to gain the ally's knowledge of their enemy, bestowing an enemy attack bonus. So you just get a bonus to attack the same person that your friend is attacking. Okay. Or I can take Intellect and Perception for energy, causing damage and boosting your defenses and accuracy. So like a mage killer. I'm going to take Tactical Meld. And maybe I'll take Marksman, because I was thinking about that one before. Okay, let's see what Aloth and... Oh wow, lots of... everybody leveled. I didn't notice that before. Okay. Alright, Aloth, what do you got? Let's, I'm gonna keep the 6 points to spend on lore. But he gets spells! So many spells. I'm gonna take Blast of Frost, because that was the one I was thinking about taking before. And I'll take another 4th level spell, because Dag. Yep. That was easy. Durance. Little sourpuss here. Aggrandizing Radiance. I'll just take another bonus spell for him, too. Level 10. Oh, everybody just dinging like crazy. So much ding. Athletics. Calls down a full-size Drake. Rad. Or 2 fearsome ogres. Or revives allies. Oh, that's really tempting. But I also want a dragon. Oh, man. Or attacks enemies in 7 directions. Or empowers allies with bonuses. Oh my gosh. I don't know. It's either Rise Again, Scions of Adon, or Garnish Beast lit the night with his breath. I do love Drake. I would love to be able to summon Drake. I'm going to take that one. I can't help it. And I think I'm going to give him... Let's give him... let's see if there's a weapon focus that gives you for bows. Warbow, Estoc, Flail, Rod, Scepter, Mace, Hunting Bow. Oh, I don't know what kind of bow he has. Maybe that's a bad idea. Okay, well let's give him oh, Poisonous Strike. That seems cool. Okay, yeah, we'll give him that because he needs more to do when he's powering up anyway. So that's cool. All right, what else we got? Oh, look at all this equipment. Here we go. Here's all this stuff I was looking for. Any of this magical? Thigh Clef. All right, that's all going in the. It's all going in the supply. I should just go sell this in the market
all
now.
right, then.
Like, well, where did you get all of this gear? It's an awkward conversation. Don't worry about it.
A
Thank
simple
you.
test.
Yep, no, just making sure it's safe here. Just locking it down.
Laying low.
Okay. And that scroll I actually do want to give to someone, I think, because it was a scroll of revival, right? Yeah. Let's see who has. He's got. Aylat's got high enough lore. I'll give it to him. He's my scroll man. "16 deflection, bashing 2, 16 deflection." Oh, -8 accuracy. Turns crits into regular hits though. Yeah, I think I will keep that one. Let's see if this is better than supper plate. Oh, that supper plate's good. That one lets him retaliate. Okay, I'll just keep it as is.
Hey.
Alright, well that was kind of a weird quest, wasn't it? Like, trick him into drinking the poison, and then, well, whatever, just murder everybody anyway. I mean, I don't think the quest was supposed to go that way. So let's go to the North Weald before we keep messing with these quests that we need to do. Because honestly, yeah, I don't know.
All right then.
I'm not super into like pursuing the main quest directly right now, and I do want to go up to Northweald and see what's up about there. They're being ambushed by the Glenfathan tribe there. I took the quest. I don't know. It might be one of those quests that I turn around on the end, but we'll see. This is cool. Shrine to Hyleia, Galwain's Maw, Burial Isle, Noonfrost. There's a bunch of places I can go here. But I want to go do this quest, and then I'll come back.
Hey.
To the Northweald. There you go. Find the Deerwooden expedition by the Pilgrim's Camp in the Northweald Wilderness.
The figurine.
Of course.
It's glowing.
The figurine is glowing. So we found the woods, it looks like. Oh, and Sagani needs to level up. 1 second, Sagani. Hold the phone. Okay, here we go.
Hey.
Blood. And a wolf leader. Or not. No wolf leader, evidently.
Of course.
Tracks long and shallow head east. They're speckled with blood. Ooh. Arrows crude and... Oh, it's too late. The expedition. A major adventure added. Let's assign a quest. Alright, so the tracks head east. And it looks like those poor suckers got dragged off by wolves. Which, you know, I mean, maybe worse fates. Stone beetles.
You're not.
My ancient nemesis, the stone beetle.
Leave it to me. Leave it to me.
random encounter.
Nice and quiet.
Young bears. This is a very busy wilderness. There's a lot of creatures out here.
Leave it to me.
Oh, Psych Hunter. Thanks for the subscription. Welcome to Max Squad. Happy to have you. I didn't even get to try to paralyze that bear before it exploded. You want some, antelope? You want a piece of this? I've been killing wildlife like it's going out of style, so... Oh, it's a dragon! Look at everybody. Alright, can I summon Drake yet? Oh no, I have to have 5 charges before Drake shows up. Here we go. Alright, Drake, save us. Rad. Get him, dragon. Get him with your dragon power. Yeah. Kill him. A good exit. Oh, what would be this? No, I know that's Durance. I see that. A winding stair hugs the cliffside, providing an impressive view as you work your way higher and higher. Not far along the path, however, you find your progress interrupted. A large boulder appears to have fallen onto the road from somewhere up above and now sits squarely in your way. Let's use a hammer and chisel to clear the way. Tink, tink, tink. Chiseling away at the boulder proves a slow and wearying endeavor, especially when several sections of boulder prove too hard to carve through, forcing you to aim elsewhere. After a long while, your efforts pay off, and a section of the boulder splits away. You hear the echoing clatter of rocks tumbling down the side of the cliff. A sound stirs somewhere overhead. A shadow crosses the path, quick as lightning, and vanishes before you can catch a glimpse of what has cast it. But you do see the rapidly growing silhouettes of several more rocks flung down from above. Scrambling to action, the party ducks under a small rocky protrusion along the cliff face, but Durance stumbles. Always Durance. Always. Like, never a question, just... okay. Always Durance. Sudden hailstorm of fist-sized rocks rains down upon him. Battered and bruised, Durance leaps the final distance to safety. After a short while, the thundering rumble of falling stones fades away. Your ordeal past, you continue your climb. The rest of the journey proceeds without incident. At last, you find yourself at the base of the final twisting set of steps, above which you can see the towering pillar of Hylea's nest. Ooh, cool. Rocks fell. Durance almost died. Alright, Temple of Hylea. Cool. Well, let's take a quick break here, and when we come back, we will explore the Temple of Hylea. Look at how foggy and ominous it is. I'm excited. Stick around.